Hi, I'm Teresa, the Anunnaki Oracle Priestess, and thank you so much for stopping by and clicking on this video. I think this is the first time I've ever done a part two before I did the part one, and truthfully, in part one, I will explain more of why I'm even doing this particular reading today. This is a personal reading. Um, but in the past, every time Spirit has nudged me to record one of my personal readings, if I don't do it, I generally wind up wishing I had. And I do know I've been getting a lot of feedback in the collective that I know for a fact that there are some folks in the soul family that are, when I say we're spiritual besties, we are twinning in lockstep with what we're going through, the karmic lessons we've been experiencing, our spiritual development. It's like everything. So I know for a fact that whatever comes out in this reading is not going to just apply for me. I know there's at least, at minimum, three or four people in the collective that this is going to apply for as well. So I figured, you know what? I want to know what Spirit has to say for me because I have been a little bit spiritually under the weather, if you will, for the past few days. And now that I've, done some spiritual self care and some physical self care and got back, trying to get back to an equilibrium, I definitely wanted to share that in the spirit of being transparent, authentic, and accountable, as always, with the collective. Because, as I said, we're all just walking each other home. So I'm going to readjust the camera here for just a moment, and then we're going to get started with the reading. And again, welcome. If you are here and you know that you kind of got a nudge from Spirit that this might be your message too, please go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get on in here. All right, all right, all right. Now, of course, as I am getting ready to get started here, I do want to take just a few moments. Please guard your ears here. I would like to call in my spiritual team. Of course, I would like to ask Archangel Michael to be present here with me and provide protection and guidance over this reading, as well as Archangel Raphael to bring your healing energies into the reading. Also, Yeshua, Thoth, Lord Inky, and Archangel Metatron, I ask your guidance, direction, and protection here during this reading as well. Allow me, please, to be a clear channel for spirit and see what I need to see, say what I need to say, and please bring in any of my ancestors, guides, tarot guides, and beings of divine light that have messages for me, and of course, any for the collective as well. And I do thank you. I thank you. I thank you. Ashe. All right. Now, I have not pulled from this deck. This is a Moon Magic deck of affirmations. I don't think I've ever pulled from this deck on the channel, but again, I'm following the nudges. And when I first opened this little pack, this card was sitting right there in the front with me. That's why reason I pulled it to the side. It is New Moon Energy. I accept renewal and delight in fresh starts. And New Moon Energy, I didn't even realize when I first pulled this card, but as I was preparing for this reading, I was listening to some other readers that I was kind of inspired to listen to this morning while I was preparing. And this particular past new moon was pretty significant. And again, I'll go into that more in part one. So if you're curious about that, definitely it'll be there. But I also have here, I let go of the anxieties of others. I am courageous and powerful, and I can guide and lead others wisely and with love. Moon goddess Hina. Wow. And I'm definitely going to have to look up this moon goddess Hina and do a little bit more study or reflection on that. And maybe I'll include some of that information in part one as well. In fact, I'm going to jot that down to look up before we get, before, so I don't forget. Here we go. All right. Now, Let me jump on in here. Because that new moon coming out, though, like I said, it amazes me when I get to forgetting myself and then go back and look again. We have so many hints and so much assistance and information that comes our way, even when we forget to notice. But when we do notice, oh, it be there talking to us so loudly. Whoa. Well, I wasn't planning on taking but three, but four came out there. And Commander Ashtar is here. Mm, yeah, I have to take those two. We have Mary Magdalene here as a sacred vessel. You are the answer. Be guided to your purpose. Joan of Arc, sacred activist. Don't be afraid. Stand up for your beliefs. Super powerful for me right now at this time. Kuan Yin, enlightened action. Choose compassion. Move forward with grace. And I know there, but from the folks that I've been doing readings for, I know that that's going to definitely resonate with quite a few of you. That ain't just for three or four, because I've been doing readings for the past couple of months now, or at least, well, truthfully, I really started pushing for doing personal readings around the 1st of July. So for the past 2 months, I've been reading personally for the collective, and it's come up again and again and again, this notice of being a sacred vessel as well as a sacred activist. Um, so yeah, that's kind of why I think I was nudged to do this, even though the message is for me is not just for me. So yeah. Lady Nada is here with expanded heart, openness, liberation. Let yourself love and be loved. Spiritual force field, protective light is surrounding you. You are safe. That is also critically important, especially with that new moon energy. I became spiritually aware that somebody that been doing some work against me that I thought had kind of left off and left it alone. Oh no, no. They're still, yeah. And we are in the Virgo energy and they are a Virgo, and truthfully, that person's actual born day was on this past new moon. So I know good and full well they were sending up petitions, and probably from the way I've been feeling over the past week or so, I have no doubt in my mind that I've been affected by it, because I got a little spiritually lax about my protection and that spiritual baths and that kind of thing. So yeah, but again, they can't do but just so much, because again, even though I was feeling kind of icky, spirit, my guides have kind of let, hey, 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 wake up. You need to handle this, and I'm taking care of it. So we're good. Commander Ashtar is here with leadership activation. It's time to evolve. Trust in your ability to guide others. That is a big, big, big theme too, for myself as well as the collective. We are in a rebirth cycle, and I'm saying we because I know it ain't just me. It keeps coming out in other people's cards too, even in, especially in the personal readings that I've been doing. It's been coming out in the collective ones too, but I'm seeing it so many times. That was a confirmation for me, because I was seeing it so many times in the collective reading. I'm like, why I keep getting the same thing? Because it's a whole bunch of y'all that are going through this death, rebirth, transformation cycle. Which, by the way, I mean, that's even the name of a group that I started on WhatsApp: Transformation, Rebirth, Ascension. Because it's what's happening to us, like for real, as we speak. That is, ooh, wow. Now that's interesting. The way these cards fell, I think we have to take these. Cybation is here with purify, cleanse, and release. Ooh, allow your light to shine too. We have Jupiter here with expansion, prosperity, and growth. And yeah, Jupiter is doing this thing. Lilith is here with dark divine mother of creation. And then calcination, dark night of the soul. We're going through another one, y'all. Another one. But it's all good. the key to that. Now it's weird because I don't have this deck flipped for reversals, but Black Moon Lilith and Sagittarius was reversed in the deck, and that card is indicating to free yourself. So that this dark night of the soul, allowing to go back through, and there's levels to it. It's gonna always be another round of shadow work, inner child work. Like I say, I've been going through it for the past week or so. I've actually been off the channel, hadn't been really able to read for anybody else. Myself, wasn't even watching other readers, just kind of, I had allowed a little bit of mind rot to come in. And then even after that, I just realized I got to turn off all devices and just go within. But it was just so much mental chatter, just noise, 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 until you can organize it and go ahead and allow yourself to do that shadow work and kind of process it a little bit. That is the key to freeing yourself. So yeah, we're gonna just keep these right here and allowing that light to shine. Now this one, here we go with these fairies. And again, they be, oh Lord, the fairies can be brutal sometimes. They can be loving, but they definitely will speak to you and let you know what you need to know. So we're gonna just jump on in here and grab a few of them and see who it is that's got messages for us today. Ooh, who was that? Tone the Poet. Okay. Oh, that was weird. I flipped the deck all kind of weird ways. That doesn't even, I can't take that like that because List of the Shadows popped out though, so I definitely know that that's for sure about doing shadow work. But I flipped the deck weird, so we're gonna take a moment and shuffle it correctly. The green woman wanted to jump back out. We're gonna see. I only really want to take 3 of these, so we're gonna see which 3 are vitally important for us today. Well, they said I'm gonna take more than 3 anyway. Wow. What we got, Spirit? What we got? Tome the Poet, the Lady of the Harvest, Epona's Wild Daughter, the Undressing of a Salad, Arvo the Parrot, and the Bright Mother. So they said, I said I was gonna take 3. They said, nope, you finna have 6. So let's get on in here and see what we're looking at. And if anybody is interested, their background music is from Magic Valoria from a couple days ago. It's a track called Daughter of the Sun God, which I thought was super appropriate for this reading, but yeah. Tone the Poet is clear sight, poetry, erotic energy, laughter, not getting into serious mischief. When Tone turns up in a reading, his presence suggests that youthful spirits and energy abound. This is the time to do exciting things and to tackle projects you've been wanting to do, but for which you perhaps felt you didn't have the time or energy. It may even be the time to write about them, but you probably need to do them first. Tone often shows up in readings for people who have a talent and inclination for writing, poetry, adventure, fantasy, or anything else. Possibly the only thing he ever gets very serious about is his writing, and he'll spend all the time he needs in searching for just the right word. Speaking and writing with conviction and sincerity and the ability to persuade others are indicated by Tom's presence, along with an outpouring of ideas. You may also find yourself thinking about romance and deciding that you want more of it in your life. This doesn't necessarily mean looking for someone new. It might well involve putting some romantic fizz into a relationship that has become overly routine. Now, honestly, this is very appropriate to me at this time because and I've talked about it in other readings on my other channel, Modern Mystic Messages. I'm kind of being called to write about some aspects of my journey. And in fact, I owe one of the sisters in the Soul Tribe, Brittany, An apology because we were supposed to be doing a 7 day fast together. I made it a day 4 and then caved and ate something and then ate again yesterday. So I'm basically having to restart a fasting period today. But I did say that during this longer fast, because I'm going to be fasting longer than she had even planned to, that I was very likely going to start writing a book that Spirit has been kind of nudging me to write for a while, with the understanding that they're going to help me write it. But for sure, I'll be speaking up more clearly during this time period. And there is a scenario with my significant other. They're still at a distance, but and truthfully, we had gotten kind of stagnant in our energy for a while. Communication kind of lacking. Not that there anything bad has happened, but because of the distance and finances and spiritual stuff going on and all, we just haven't been. We've been together, like we've been friends for years and years, and then when we got romantically focused, it's been a few years. So over time, things just kind of and we really energetically, I know that there's going to have to be a period of renewal to kind of refresh things with us, if you will. Now we have Lady of the Harvest is here with 18. Let's see what we got. Ooh, this is completion, grief, loss. It also talks about harvest and release. It's time to accept change, to move on to the next phase. Rebirth, transformation. Yeah. Some of us, me included, like I said, this is first and foremost a personal reading. So I just call me out on my ish, knowing kind of sort of what we're being called to do, but still, some of it's about not having the physical resources, but some of it's about being stagnant in fear. Not even fear of failure, but some of it's fear of success or fear of the unknown because of not having the physical resources, kind of stepping out on a limb versus reverting back to what you normally do or know to try to get some temporary means. And again, those who've been really, really active on the other channel with me really know I've been transparent about that. But this reading says that this is time to move to the next phase. Power and strength in the present and future come from releasing the past. This is a time of liberation, and we might as well cooperate with it. It will happen whether we want it to or not. Release and liberation may be painful or joyful depending on the circumstances. Cry if you need to, be joyful if that is appropriate, but in either case, trust the process, acknowledge what you feel, and prepare to move on. So this is happening. We've been feeling it happening for a long time. I felt like I was talking to my significant other a while back. We've said it went from feeling like sitting in limbo or waiting to kind of pacing the halls. You think about in the movies when they show somebody in labor and delivery, and the woman she's in active labor, but sometimes they'll tell her instead of just sitting in the bed and hurting, or she's not progressing, so they'll have her kind of walking up and down the hallway to hurry her labor along. And it felt like we had been doing that for a while, and then it got to feeling like being that expectant father. Well, we passed the point of her walking. She's actually in there getting set up to actually go. This is about to happen for real. So now he's just kind of pacing, waiting for the doctor to come out with some news. And then lately, it's really beginning to feel like we were out of labor and delivery area and away from that analogy, but it was like a train beginning to pull out of the station. It may be moving very slowly. At first, when the train first started moving, you could walk alongside it. And if you had somebody in there you want to see off, and then you could kind of sort of jog alongside it. And then it gets to the point where even no matter how fast you're running, that train is eventually going to leave you standing on the platform and it's off and going. Well, we're just kind of sort of beginning to pull out of the station now, but we can feel the movement. Let's see what's here with Epona's wild daughter. This is shadow work, inner shadows, depression, madness, growth. Epona's wild daughter, Dorcha, is the Sphinx. whose riddles must be answered lest we otherwise be destroyed by our own internal conflicts. Dorcha reminds us that we cannot go forward until we've faced something buried within us that is holding us back. Oh my goodness. Her presence in a reading tells us that finding and working through this is a task of some urgency. We can expect help in this form from other people, from the fairies, and from our dreams, but we must be open to these difficult questions and answers and be ready to face things about ourselves that are not as we would wish them to be. She urges us to heal the unresolved issues about who we really are and what we truly want to be. This is part of the required course in Self Transformation 101 that we are all enrolled in here on planet Earth. The answers to her riddles often come in a sudden burst of enlightenment, like the solution to a Zen koan. We may watch a leaf fall or catch a glimpse of the tiny sliver of the new moon in the night in the sky and suddenly be hit by the answer. Before that happens, we usually work long and hard upon the question, searching and digging for an answer. The realization, when we really have it, will be transformative. We will no longer be the people that we once were. Interesting that they bring up the new moon again, too. You don't like this interpretation? Well, I have been telling you all along that we, which is you, I, and everyone else, will all receive varying messages from the fairies in the cards. Yours may well differ from mine. Ask Dorcha what message she has for you, and don't be surprised if her answer is another question or riddle. She and I both wish you well in solving it with all our hearts. And for sure, I'm going to have to go back and watch this reading again, even after I pull it, because that's just the way it goes. The undressing of a salad is here, 31. Avoiding extremes, achieving the impossible, and being impossible. Things are in motion and the outcome is impossible to predict. A cool head is required to deal with this, as is a readiness to jump in whatever direction seems appropriate. Exercise cool judgment while staying ready for the unpredictable. Sudden changes of fortune may appear good or bad, but they are in flux and can be rechanneled if necessary. Develop poise, stay calm. You can come out a winner here, but it is likely to take concentrated effort. Use power with delicacy and discretion. Now, I'm going to say this because I forgot to mention it before, and I don't think I can tag all of them, but I will mention them here so that if this reading really, really resonates with you, I would encourage you to also go and check out the tarot readers that I'm going to mention their readings for the today, or maybe even scan down anything that jumps off the page at you when you go and look at their channel. But for sure, like their latest reading, if you're watching this today or like on the 1st of September or the 2nd of September, anything that's from the August 31st to say September the 2nd, look down for the last 2 or 3 days. And if their readings, if the titles jump out at you, I would encourage you to watch them. The first readings that I was led to today, and again, I have not watched anybody's readings for about the past 4 or 5 days. Not that I do watch other readers, but where I was at in that funk in my head, I wasn't watching readings. But I was led this morning to look at some in Chiron Intuition. Particularly two of his messages this morning were super relevant to me. He does 4 per day, typically 3 to 4 per day. And for today, it was the bottom two, which would have been the first two that he uploaded, were particularly relevant. And then I was led to the Happy Cancer Tarot. And even if you're not a Cancer, it doesn't matter. I am a Cancer, but Destiny over Happy Cancer. The last two readings that she has posted as of today, September 1st, which would have been one from yesterday and one from the day before. Those were particularly relevant. Next up was Lightworks Intuitive Healing. She had her latest two readings as of September 1st were super relevant for me. And then finally, it was Soulful Revolution. MJ over there, She's had her, I think it was an ancestor message for whoever needs to hear this, and her daily message from Friday. All of those really, really kind of tied into what's going on for me. So as I was kind of in here cleaning the cards and getting my head together and doing makeup and getting my hair together and all the rest of that stuff, I was just kind of listening to those. I queued them up and was listening to them, and they spoke very loudly to what I had going on. So if this reading is resonating with you, you may want to go and check those also. Next up, we have Arval the parrot, which is 50. Communication. Clear communications are vitally important here. Strive for verbal brilliance. Listen carefully. Be articulate. Be willing to calmly debate the issues and explore ideas with others. Open communication will enhance the chances of success all around. Arvel also suggests that the querent watch for body language, incomplete sentences, and unfinished thoughts and try to discover what these signals are meant to get across. That's interesting too, because when it comes down to communications, I had gotten a message as I was actually sitting in that salt bath, and I've noticed it's not, I mean, I saw it. I was watching a live stream a few days ago and came across some random information that I was unaware of because I'm kind of new to live streaming, and I am aware that my channels have been shadow banned. When I went to Modern Mystic Messages, when I first started live streaming, I'm still getting out to people around the world, but I went from getting like 17, 18, 20,000 views and picking up like anywhere from 100 to 200 subscribers every time I went live, to now I'm barely getting like 1.5, 2,000 views, and maybe getting 10, 12, 15 new subscribers. So I know there's a shadow ban in place, and I found out kind of sort of one of the issues that it might have to do with is a communication issue, because there are always going to be trolls and stuff to come in. But when I first started live streaming, I didn't even understand. Rather than timing people out, I actually wound up hiding them from the channel. Now, I went back and undid all of that, but for a while, anytime you shadow ban, there's going to be a period of time where you just going to have to work your way through it. Plus, and I am going to speak to my moderators about it. If you are one of my moderators, we're going to have to, as much as I don't want to allow foolishness on the channel, we are going to have to start timing out less people less often on the channel, because someone I was watching someone else's live stream, and they were saying that timing out too many people basically causes your streams, your channel to get shadow banned. So I mean, of course, if the people are still being really inappropriate or really argumentative, you can time out whoever you need to time out. But if you get too heavy handed with it, apparently YouTube, unfortunately, they like to allow people that are miserable and have no lives to come and have no life to come into your live stream and heckle you, and you have to kind of tolerate some of it or pay the price with YouTube. So I'm gonna have to, allow a little more of that and see if that helps any, because I do want to get the message out. And truthfully, a lot of times I don't even be angry with those people. I was just allowing the mods, if they didn't like what was happening in the live stream, they just go ahead and silence the people, and I don't have an issue with that. But a lot of those people, unfortunately, they're spiritually just like teenage bullies. They don't have a life. They don't know no better. They're miserable in their own lives and very, very spiritually immature, very socially immature. So they come into live streams and say extremely inappropriate things. Like I said, our light irritates their demons. So they come in there talking ish. But truthfully, if they're not being truly disruptive, we can just announce in the live stream that we're going to ignore them and keep it pushing. We don't have to actually remove their comment, because they'll eventually, somebody else's stuff will scroll them right on out of view, and it'll disappear once we upload it to the channel anyway. Last, we have the bright mother here, which is creativity, nurturing, productivity, intimacy, and sheltering. When the bright mother is present in a reading, she speaks of a time of fertility, creativity, and nurturing of ourselves or of others. She might indicate marriage or the birth of a child or a deepening of any kind of relationship. She also speaks of giving one's all to life, not holding back. She is like a cornucopia, pouring forth abundance. This may be a time to put the needs of others first, taking care of yourself later. Patience may be needed for the process being discussed. Consider what you have. Acknowledge the people and things in your life, good, bad, and indifferent. This consideration is not to judge, approve, or reject, but merely to recognize what is present in your life. These are your present fulfillments, the things you have created for yourself, drawing upon the power of unity in the singers, or not, as the case may be. Once you have looked clearly at what is present in your life, you may want to ask yourself, what do you want to change? And truthfully, now this, it says the starter meaning is here, is about, um, it says this may be a time to put the needs of others first, taking care of yourself later. Honestly, I think in our case, this is the exact opposite. It's saying you've done all of that other stuff for other people. Now it's time for you to tend to your self care, taking care of yourself, your physical self care, your spiritual hygiene and self care, your emotional self care, shadow work, child work, all of those things in order to become spiritually fit for this leveling up that you're calling in, that is in the process of happening. So, yeah, there's that. Now, let's continue on here and see what kind of message we have from the Akashic cards. Okay. Ooh, at the bottom of the deck, we got union, soulmate energy here with present attracting, and North Node destiny. At the bottom of the deck, apology, forgiveness, Venus, offer, and higher self activation. Ooh. Now let's see what's here. We have release, purge, surrender, emotional release, clearing, walking away, temptation, self deception. This is about making wise choices, not staying stuck in that self deceptive energy. And again, that what's coming to mind here is imposter syndrome, worthiness cycles, fear of failure, fear of success stuff. Just letting some of that go. Toxicity bound, addictions patterns, energy vampire, trauma bond, and stuck. This goes back to what I was talking about this new moon energy again, being able to release some of that, acknowledging it. There is actually somebody. Some of this is about truthfully. We're so busy want to bear responsibility and accountability and all of that for ourselves, and there's nothing wrong with that. We're supposed to. But for some of us, there really is some people doing the ugly boogly out there, okay? And we have to acknowledge that too. I saw somebody in the live stream the other day talking about they don't believe that stuff exists. The devil is just that, it's in your head. None of that other stuff is all within you. If you believe that, you're gonna stay stuck because it ain't all in you. We battle not against flesh and blood, but against powers and principalities. That's in that book for a reason. There are some really nasty energies out there that are doing some really nasty things to the chosen ones. They know who you are before you know who you are. And ignoring that can get you stuck. Look at me. I have forgotten. I haven't been doing my moon petitions. I haven't been doing my energy work. I hadn't been out there barefoot grounding as much as I could. I made the excuse about the mosquitoes, and that is real. That ain't even an excuse. It is a reason. My blood is super delicious to mosquitoes, and I've been using the citronella and the this and the that, everything except the toxic sprays, and they're still biting me. So I had allowed that to run me indoors. But by not grounding as much as I should, not doing, staying up on my moon work, not being aware of that energy, I left a crack. And damn if something didn't come in it. And then I spend a week in a spiritual funk and stuck until I figure out how to get myself unstuck. Pay attention to this. Dream messages, telepathy, 5D communication is here, astral travel, spirit guides, and signs. And again, it'll come to you, but when it floats in, don't ignore it. My guides let me know, get your ass in that tub and do that salt bath. Don't just make it just be that. Go in there. I got some special soaps and things with some special, that was done by a spiritualist, blah, blah, blah. Get in there and get that on that crown, clear that crown chakra area out too. I ain't gonna get into everything that I do because I do have some folks that's doing the oogly boogly that watch my stuff, but I had to tend to my spiritual hygiene in a way that I had been allowing laziness and physical tiredness to cause me to get slack on. Your spirit is saying, pay attention when you get these messages from your guide, because it's real. Summer is here, a timing card, activity, goals, progress, life force, energy, and new patterns. We are at the end of summer. This is what they call the dog days of summer or whatnot, going into fall. So this is again another doorway. Uh, and for me, it's especially, I didn't even realize we got a new moon coming up here on the 7th. And like I said, I'll talk about it more in part 1 of this video, but it it's a new moon with Saturn. Well, Saturn is in Pisces right now, but the new moon is also in Pisces, and there's an eclipse happening on that day. For those of us that are in our second Saturn return, which is me, even if you're in your first Saturn, if you're in a Saturn return, which means you're between the ages of like 26, 7, 8, 9 ish, or 55, 6, 7, 8, 9 ish, you'll typically only have 2 Saturn returns in a lifetime. 3 if you live a really long time, because Saturn only returns like once every 29, 30 years. So when we're in our first or second Saturn return, and it'll basically be, I think it's going to flip around the beginning of the year, January-ish or so. But to have for Saturn to be in Pisces, and the new moon is also in Pisces, and I'm a Virgo rising, so the next full moon will be in Virgo. I'm feeling these energies heavily. This is a gateway. This is, like I said, so in this case, if this reading is resonating so far, I honestly don't even think this is about a summer timing card for next year. This is happening right now. It may spill over into fall and winter, but you're going to begin to feel the shift like now, like you've been feeling it. And if you ain't feeling it right now, you will be super soon. But don't worry, because you do have soulmates coming in. For many of us, this is romantic partners. For some, it isn't. Um, and for some, a personal integration of yin and yang energies. But for those who are calling in divine counterparts and twins, expect to see some positive movement towards that sooner rather than later. Oh boy. All right, what we got? All right, once again, more than what I planned on, but guess what? Here it is. We have fresh start here. You're being given opportunity to begin again. Allow yourself to embrace this new life and open up fully to this gift that you've been given. Next one that I actually saw was obligation. Stop telling yourself you should. When you cater to others or to unnecessary expectations of yourself, you stop your flow of abundance. Walk away. You're wasting your precious energy on something that will not bear fruit. It's time to turn your attention to things more aligned to your soul purpose, especially for those of us that keep debating staying in corporate life with the jobs. And again, some of us may have to pursue that to survive, but if you are debating whether you should or shouldn't, and you just staying at the party too long because you don't really know what else to do, Spirit is saying, cut that out, step away, because it is standing in the way of what you're really called to do. You're being asked to ground yourself. You've been spending too much time in your head. It's time to pay attention to your body and to the earth. Go outside, plant your feet in the ground, and enjoy centering feeling this brings. Yes, yes, and yes. Open up. You're being asked to open your heart to another, to let down your walls and trust that they want what's best for you. Your life will open up in wonderful ways once you decide to open up. And whether this is somebody new or somebody that you're kind of having sort of doubts with, you kind of really sort of know that that's that person, but it ain't happening fast as you want to. So you keep talking yourself off the ledge and trying to convince yourself that they're not the one. Spirit is saying, cut it out, let those walls down. It may not be happening in your time, but trust that it is happening in divine time. So stop being impatient and don't wall yourself off just because you don't see the rapid fire movement that you expect. It is happening. Stand your ground. There is something you want to fight for, yet you're choosing to hide instead. Create a boundary and speak up for what you believe in. And professional assistance. It may be time to seek wise counsel. This could be in any life area, from legal or financial advice to more personal needs such as counseling or therapy. And truthfully, I've advised several people over the past personal readings to go in and check out some of my favorite YouTube um, therapists. And I think it's time for me to do the same. Go take my own advice and go back in for some help with another round of inner child work or shadow work, as it such may be. So I'm definitely gonna, like I say, I'm gonna listen. I can't tell y'all to do it and then I don't do it. I mean, I can, but that ain't gonna get me nowhere. So the whole point of this is to get the messages from spirit, see what they're trying to tell me that I haven't been paying enough attention to. Ooh, desire. Fulfillment is possible. Consider what you think you're seeking. Will this fulfill your soul's yearnings or only satisfy a temporary desire? Prioritize what's important in your life. It says patterns. Be your own witness. Notice situations that are repeating themselves. Release any beliefs about your past so that you can see the present more clearly. And then space. Rest and take a time out. Give yourself some space and time to process the things that have happened in your life. Space gives perspective and clarity. Time heals. Now, the ones that actually did jump out of the deck for us to see them are listening. Listen generously. Look around and see the messages that life has given you. Heed the voice of your higher self. Listen to the wisdom and life experience of others. Learn lessons. Learn as you live. Find the lessons to be learned from your current situation. Do so without guilt or shame, and know that this newly acquired wisdom empowers you. And enchantment. Cultivate beauty and magic. See beauty in the ordinary. Notice the magic and miracles in the mundane. If you cannot find beauty, then seek to create it in the world around you. So it don't matter where you, like I said, don't beat yourself up for where you haven't been or what you haven't accomplished just yet. Learn from it and keep it moving, and ask spirit to help you see the lesson. If you ain't finding the lesson or don't see it or feel like you're missing the signs, ask for guidance in that regard. Now we just gonna pull some of these. I'm not gonna stick at three because this is a really big deck, so I'm just gonna run through it real quick. Whatever comes out, we're gonna take a look at, because that's the way this deck works. Wow, it ain't that many, which I ain't mad, but I said that. And then here comes like several of them flipped over in my hand. Ooh, some of these just will not go down. Let me see what these are. clouds, thoughts or problems. Mars, the ruler of destruction. This is the tower moment, survival instinct, upheaval. What else is sticking up here? Compass, true north, discovery, life path, seeking truth, direction, finding your way, knowing where you're going, making a plan. Leo, within 7 to 14 days during the summer. Wow. This is the strength card, but interestingly enough, like I said, the person that I had to be aware of is doing the oogly boogly. The main one in my life is a Leo, and it talks about 7 to 14 days. That new moon was 7, 8 days ago on that person's birthday. And it says the time is from July 22nd to August 21st, but they're a Leo Virgo cusp with a birthday on the 23rd. So, wow. That's kind of interesting that was sticking up. It didn't jump all the way out the deck, but now this card right here is still, I done tapped this deck a bunch. Woo, man card came out here. Masculine energy, the love interest. So with last card I touched was this Leo, and then man came here. It was a previous love interest, definitely not a love interest now, but I find that interesting. I can say I pay attention to this stuff. Okay, we had ship here, going places, adventure, vehicle, travel overseas, movement with the wind. This is an enterprise. Stars, wishes do come true, peace, miracle, dreams, feeling blessed. Wow, nighttime inspiration and providence. Owl, seeing through the facade, wise, aware, observant, secrets lifted, explore, knows what's going on, explore the unknown. Tracks are here, steady, forward movement, one way. Remember I talked about the train being going out of this, coming out of this, moving out of the station? I think I can, on track. Stallion is here, breaking free. Tame versus wild, strong emotions, desire, driving force. Ooh, freedom, unleash the inner beast. Now, mountain is here with obstacle, problem, distance, solution, or distant, solitude, pride, block, cold, indifferent, delays, stubborn. This is where we've been, y'all. This is what's happening. This is what drove me to do this reading. But look at all this other energy that's coming out with it. Look, Milky Way, networking, marketing, internet fame, expand the spotlight and innumerable social media publicity, connected exposure with this Milky Way. And then finally, what came out of here, Pluto, the great revealer, total transformation, heeding the call, renewal, surrender, awakening, rebirth, clean slate, fundamental changes. This is a clearing and purging. This is the judgment card. So that's beautiful. Like, and trust me, this deck got a whole lot of not so pleasant cards in it. But out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards we pulled, one is talking about the little bit of hiccup that we're having right now in this stuck energy. The rest are absolutely moving forward in this rebirth. That is absolutely beautiful. I'll take that all day. Now, where we at? Where we at? Where we at? Where was? Hold on. Oh, okay, yeah, I did pull those. I'm gonna have to get some of these off the table in a minute. This is gonna be a longer reading. Again, I needed to get all the tea because I haven't pulled for myself in a minute and a half. And Spirit just let me know that this was something that I needed to do. And like I said, I strongly suspect somebody else needs this as well. So here it is. Ooh, that one came out in. Mm, mm. Spirit is not playing. You, ooh, honestly, I wondered. This was on the bottom of the deck before, but when I done shuffled these cards twice since I've in the pre-cleansing, I shuffle the cards 3 times and then run them through incense smoke, and then I shuffle them again 3 times before I start pulling or shuffling to get these. And this card was at the bottom of the deck, one of the first cards I saw when I chose this deck, and it came out again. Use your voice, expansion, and freedom with the sirens. And then we have King Tide, plenty, prosperity, receiving the fullness of life. Ooh, I take it, I take it. Silky is here, come out of hiding, embrace who you really are. Stop that imposter syndrome crap. And the rainbow is here. Sweet relief, new beginnings, and a new way forward. Y'all, if that ain't rebirth transformation energy, I ain't never seen it. It's happening. Again, like I said, you couldn't stop it if you wanted to at this point. Ooh, at the bottom of this deck, when I split it, creative expression is here. Trust your vision with soul mission, soul plan, and life purpose. Right at the split, but let's see what actually comes out this deck. We got soul calling, sacred journey, and pilgrimage. Back to that, what they talked about traveling, perhaps international travel. Remember, that is with the holy mountain. Then we have the records here. Remember why you came. Be bold. Legacy. Ooh, obstacle. Okay, we did have this mountain here, but find another road. This is about flexibility and change. And see the beauty, gratitude. The sacred is everywhere. So it's happening. Like I said, it is happening. Here we got. I wanted to pull some, like I said, I pulled a bunch of different decks and I had some decks pulled out for a love reading, which I will do later on. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get it today. Probably, because again, I'm not going live on this channel today. I'll go on tomorrow morning. I wanted to get this reading up, and then I've got to do a little work for the other channel to get some more of the Book of Enoch out. But I did want to pull some of these love and career cards. What's this? Oh. Okay. Okay, wish granted came out here. The outcome may not be exactly as you want, but it's what you need. We have divinely guided here. Trust the wisdom of the universe and remain open to receive guidance as you journey through life's mysteries. Inner vision, cut through the fog of confusion with your power of discernment. Steady as you go, navigate with patience and resilience, trusting your inner strength to guide you through life's twists and turns. Planning phase, take a step back and plan the necessary steps to move forward so you may turn your goals into reality. Even if you don't have the money to do it right now today, sit down on paper and make a plan. I mean, and of course, there may be certain little details that you really won't be aware of until you physically have the means to do right in your hand. But write some of those things out. Look at it. I mean, people do vision boards and all that. But even if you don't do a whole vision board, sit down and figure out how you would spend that windfall when it comes, or what would be the steps that you need to do to secure your finances or move forward if you were planning to, or in the case of international travel, what loose ends do you need to tie up here before you be free to go? And how much money would it take to do that, whether you have it or not? There's nothing wrong with kind of looking and projecting that stuff ahead. Because if you don't ever set a desire or a goal out there, how can you ever hit one? You ain't got to worry about where it's coming from right now. Just take a little time, open a little notebook, and do that. Some will call it dreaming or crazy, but if you do it long enough, eventually it's going to happen. Roots of stability are here and roots of success. Secure your foundations, fostering growth and stability for a thriving journey ahead. Make a change, embrace growth, seek new paths, and welcome transformations with an open heart. Divine flow. Let go of attachment to the outcome and let the universe bring gifts. Amen to that. Or I don't even like saying amen no more, knowing what it means. So we're going to say ashe. How about that? Now, I'm going to take some of these out of the mix. We're going to get these off the table. And because I need to create some more space for this next portion. I'm going to do a spread that I've been doing for the collective, but we're going to do it a little bit differently. Whoa, what was that? I don't know what just fell off this table, but oh well. I'll find out afterwards. That might be confirmation for somebody too. Whatever I was saying during then, I'm not quite sure. But we'll figure it out as we go. Now, the one thing I am gonna, because I do like to have oracle cards out here on the table with the spread, so I got a couple for this set. Ooh, we're at 55:15 when I just bothered to look, so I know it's gonna be a little bit lengthy, but again, when the cards want to speak, I like to let them. Now, the only three that I pulled ahead of time, because as I was pre-shuffling this deck, in the split, these two cards came out, and they jumped at me so much because as many times as I work with this deck, I've seen it before, of course, when I first got the deck, but it's ever since I've been working with this deck, these two cards have never actually come out for me before with someone, even for myself. So when I shuffled and they were at the split, they spoke to me so loudly till I knew I was supposed to pull them, and then right under this yin yang lover was cosmic butterfly. So those are the ones we're going to kind of round out the reading with, but those I had pulled those earlier. And then let me see here. All right, all right. Four. All right. Okay. I think we're gonna say these towards the end because I don't know. I just feel like I'm supposed to. But I have pulled them. So now we're gonna go in here. This doesn't even look like a pyramid when I have a wider view. This the way it was normally. It started out as being a 5 card spread, but for some reason when I started working with this deck, it spoke to me to be a 7 card spread, and it winds up forming the shape of a pyramid when you have enough enough horizontal room to turn it that way. But in fact, I think I am going. Well, no, I'll do it. Ooh. So first up, we have recognize despair as an opportunity. Within it, you will find the gift of awakening. So even though it looks dark. Again, like I said, if some of us are being pulled into another dark night of the soul, or allowing our intrusive thoughts to kind of get us down, that chatter in our head. Why haven't we figured it out yet? Why isn't the money coming yet? Are we really as far along spiritually as we think we are? Maybe we're not quite getting it right. Who knows? Like I said, who do you really think? Who are you fooling? Come on now, that stuff. But again, those thoughts can lead to despair, but we also have to recognize that a despair point, what do they say? When you hit bottom, ain't nowhere to go but up. It's an opportunity. You can find the gift of awakening. And what's the cross here? Conforming. Because that's the reason we hit this despair point. We're not hitting the status quo's predefined markers for what they think is supposed to mean success, or be outward symbols of success. You're not getting enough signs of life, physical evidence that you're on the right track, and because of that, you start doubting yourself. But Spirit is saying, be brave and be yourself. It's gonna be all right. Anything else is gonna mess you up. The time for romance has come. See it as an opportunity for a radiant life. That is your message from Spirit. That's going to be the bridge that carries you across, what's going to help facilitate this, because for many of us, it's the divine counterpart. It's not even the divine counterpart necessarily coming in to take care of you, although for some of us that will be the case. It's balancing that energy to help you be able to see your way clear, think clearly, to manifest together with someone in harmony that will allow your manifestation power to kind of unlock, if you will, to be able to move forward. Follow your vision. Never lose sight of what's really important. This is what's upcoming for you. It could also be a bit of a hindrance if you don't. Oh, okay. Listen to the eternal song of your soul, tune into it, and learn to trust it. I think that's the biggest theme here. A lot of the self doubt, imposter syndrome, that kind of stuff just comes from listening to like I said, other people put noise in your head, and then it lives there rent free, instead of listening to what your inner being is trying to tell you. Release your creative energies, make use of them in your life, and that's going to be key to to everything, truthfully, to bringing in the love, the manifestation, the soul purpose, the spiritual work, everything. Tear down the walls around your heart. Give and receive security and warmth. This is really hard when you've been hurt over and over and over and over again your entire life, starting with your family unit, repeatedly by loved ones, co-workers done you wrong, friends done stabbed you in the back, betrayed by people that you never thought would betray you. You think you're still open and all of that, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. It's funny that she's holding this rabbit. um and you still consider yourself an open person, but are you really? Have you been fostering relationships with people that ultimately you still wind up having to get rid of, kind of sort of, putting a wall up around you? You chose to associate with the ones that would be easier to walk away from than the ones that genuinely, you're around people that you know you can't fully open your heart to, so you haven't been. And you've done that for so long as a protective mechanism. Spirit is saying now it's going to be time for you to cut that out. You got rid of those people. Truthfully, most of them are gone. And if they ain't gone, they will soon be. So now you're in that alone space, but you're going to have to allow this wall to come down at some point to realize there is new soul family, spirit tribe, divine counterpart, cooperative components, whatever the case may be, coming in. But you're going to have to heal this so they can even come in. You've been in the alone, so there ain't nobody hurting you, because ain't nobody even coming up. That's why ain't nobody hurting you right now. Oh, that's interesting. A 22 is here and a 33 is here. Feel the power and blood of your ancestors. You are not alone. and you are experiencing a spiritual blossoming. Take a new direction and be open to new experiences. That unfolding will continue to happen. Don't think it won't, because it absolutely will. And now let's pull this. Why is this recognizing despair as an opportunity? What else is here? It's all in divine order. Allow. How can you relax into the flow and go with the current of life? Like I said, by understanding it's happening for you, not to you. Even though it looks dark, it's part of the crumbling that has to take place as you're moving forward in this transition. This is not your practice life. Decide what is your inner voice telling you about the dream in your heart. And this is what this to die is to conform. To conform is to die inside. Very often we want to do something different. We've been wanting to do something different, maybe even since childhood. But again, we've always gone along to get along and do what people tell us that we're supposed to do. And because whether the parents or the teachers or the pastor or the significant others, somebody has always been telling us what we're supposed to do. Spirit says, no, be brave and be yourself. This is not your practice life. You get to decide. You get to call the shots. You don't have to keep dancing somebody else's tune. You're never going to be happy dancing nobody else's tune. You're not even going to be able to keep up with their steps. That's one of the reasons you feel like a failure, if you have that feeling or that imposter syndrome thing, because it's very hard to walk in shoes that were made for and by someone else. The time for romance has come. Why is that here, Spirit? Wait a minute, was it this one or this one? I'm not sure. Huh. Oh, okay. I was trying because this card surged up, but then again, oh, okay. Take responsibility for your life as a creative adventure. How can you live with more meaning, integrity, and truth? This one is actually here with, I believe, with 35, with this follow your vision. Never lose sight of what's really important. And then, like I said, taking responsibility for your life as a creative adventure. So you do get to call the shots. And especially when we look here on this other side about not conforming. But then here, when this card popped up, I was trying to figure out if that was it. But I think the deck just wanted me to look here at the bottom, this soul alignment card with this time for romance. Part of the reason it has not been coming yet is because you both, one and or most likely both of you, if you're truly mirroring each other, it required a period of soul alignment, going through this radical rebirth, this transformation, finding soul alignment. It says it's time for a radical change. How can you show up for yourself in ways that you never have before? And when you do that, when you're able to show up, because a lot of us, when we are dreaming, hoping, wishing, praying, fantasizing, whatever it is about this fantabulous love that we want to have coming, we don't even realize what we're asking for is the mirror version of our best version of ourselves. The things that we want in a partner are the things that typically, hopefully, if you're serious about manifesting, are the things that you're prepared or have been bringing to relationships. So, but yeah, I do want to say but, because it depends. We make those wishes from a very hurt place sometimes. It's out kind of in the abstract outside of us. We don't realize that the twin flame, the divine counterpart, the soul mate quest, that calling in, that is basically us falling in love with us. You attract what you are. So, truthfully, in order to call in a twin flame, you have to become a vibrational match to that you've asked for. It's about soul alignment first, but the time is here for it. So, as you continue to do this work, the romance will come. And with this, listen to the eternal song of your soul. Tune in to it and trust it. Tune into it to trust it. Oh, to learn. Tune into it and learn to trust it. Oh, it says, with this, listening to the eternal song of your soul, came in, express yourself creatively, start something new. What creative pursuit do you feel drawn to? Like I said, I got a bunch of them. Part of it is this, and of course, figuring out a way to expand this even more so that, truthfully, this becomes the full time gig, so to speak. Um, but also learn to be comfortable in that and to be appropriately compensated for it. Ooh. Release your creative energies. You make use of them in your life, but it also comes here with the energy of forgiveness. What do you need to forgive yourself for? Maybe with this asking for releasing the creative energies, maybe for you got to forgive yourself for some self-deprecating thoughts, talk, and behavior, for self-sabotaging thoughts, talk, and behavior, for that feeling of unworthiness. Forgive yourself for not being where you've judged yourself that you should be. The first part of reading we saw was one of the Akashic cards said, let go of the shoulds. Because for real, the fact that any of us are managing to do anything with the mess that's going on right now is amazing. Mm. Tear down the walls around your heart. Give and receive security and warmth. Is here with the collective field is impacting you. Unseen forces in action. How can you relinquish control of the situation that feels blocked? This is exactly why I even started this reading in the first place. So I feel like that's kind of interesting that that would come out to in support of the last card that lays down with here. Now we were talking about tearing down the walls around the heart to allow something in, but I also mentioned that the reason these walls are up is because previous to now, a lot of the folks that have shown up in your life really did do some unkind, unfortunate things to you. And for some of us, like I said, they actually doing the oogly boogly, spell work, evil eye, really hating on you. They just do not want you to have the thing that you know you're manifesting, because if they can't have it and they can't have it with you, or if they can't have you in some cases, nobody else will. And it ain't even about a romantic love. Some of them just understand the greatness. They've seen the greatness that you're called for, and they want to ride your coattails. And damn it, if they can't ride your coattails, then they would rather pin your cape to the floor and see to it that you don't get there either. So you are being affected by the collective field. Said unseen forces are in action, but you can release this to your spirit team so that the situation feels blocked, but when you can release it to your ancestors and your spirit team, oh, trust me, they can unblock it for you. And I was there at one point. You know what? I honestly think in my case, I just got too lax thinking that surely this person has stopped this foolishness now, but apparently not. It's a constant thing, and if it's not them, it's going to always be somebody, especially when you put yourself out in this public eye, especially when people can see your light. If your light is visible at all to anyone, it's also visible to all, including the ones that you would rather they not see it, because they're going to come after it. They don't have light of their own, so they're gonna come after yours. And some of them are truthfully firmly on the side of darkness, so they come after yours just because they know who you are, they know what you're here to do, and they've been chasing your behind through lifetimes to see to it that you do not ascend and awaken and ascend during this lifetime. We have to recognize that too. Closing our eyes, la 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 la, I can't hear you. If I don't believe it, it doesn't affect me. That's nonsense. It does affect us. It ain't gonna say it can completely take us down, but like Spirit says, The collective field is impacting you. So if you're not sailing along towards your dream smooth sailing, you feel like you're stuck or got a hiccup, that means that these unseen forces, the ones you don't want, just like the ones you do want are there trying to push you along, the ones you don't want might be trying to nail your cape to the floor. You have to pay attention to that. At the bottom of the deck, we have your purpose is personal expansion. How can you be more intentional with your choices and live with more purpose? And here at the top, just back to this despair thing at the top of this deck, anxiety isn't trying to limit you, but free you from a situation that no longer feels good. What is your discomfort trying to free you from? Very relevant question. Very, very relevant question. We're going to move along now to some tarot. And in this case, normally I don't pull from two tarot decks with this spread, but I'm going to because I wanted to pull from the Aquarius deck and then clarify with the tarot of the Orishas. So we're going to pull that. Ooh, talk about an opportunity. The Nine of Pearls comes out here. This is luxury, independence, and enlightenment. So it is all in divine order. You're seeing a despair situation. Spirit is saying, hold your horses. Just let it do it. Let us do what we do. Age of Aquarius is here. This is an awakening and ascension card. To form is to die inside. You're not, you came here for this. You are in the age of Aquarius. We are in this awakening phase for a reason. This is what you literally chose to incarnate on this earth during this time period for. And Temperance is here. This is about higher purpose, divine guidance, and equilibrium. So Temperance is helping out with this romance situation, with your soul alignment, all of that. And then multidimensional is here. Follow your vision. You are a multifaceted individual. So yeah, take responsibility for your life and understand that you can do it. It's at your ooh. When I was holding this card and this, I don't know why my finger splayed to that, and this card, this one started moving out. But then I understand why when I see it. The Empress is here. The Empress is absolutely here. This is the Divine Feminine card. This is about being one with nature, about listening to the eternal song of your soul, expressing yourself creatively. The Empress is perpetually pregnant. She is birthing new ideas, new um, adventures, new platforms, new projects. She's just constantly creatively birthing. So that's kind of interesting that she came out here at that point. And the Six of Swords came out here. This is a new journey. This is maturing. This is about relocation too, moving from troubled waters to calmer waters. Is right here with this being set free too. What do you need to forgive yourself for? That's what's going to help you on this being released from these troubled waters, traveling into these calmer waters to help with this new journey, to help with this relocation, releasing your creative energies, which is also about that moving forward because your creative releasing your creative energies are what's going to carry you forward into the financial abundance, the material manifestations that's going to help you move forward. You feeling stuck, but going through that shadow work and forgiving, that's what's, oh, and we had two that popped out here. And what's this? Ah, that shot up too. Okay, I'm taking them. It's three here at the end. Had the Page of Cups with Death. So the Page of Cups is very, it's interesting. I said bright eyed and bushy tail. That's kind of the Page of Cups too. Page of Wands, even more so. The Page of Cups usually shows up with the fish in the cup, which you can take that either way. It's not a fully developed emotional idea, but this is a curiosity. This is asking the question. This is seeking emotional fulfillment. Death is here with the transmutation, that transformation. This is an ending card, but it's also a rebirth card. It's a beginning. So tearing down the walls of the heart, allowing these changes to happen. It's talking about the situation being blocked here. Death is about being blocked, feeling stuck, giving into, well, no, the devil is more temptation. Death is that, like I said, it's a full stop so that you can move forward into something else. It is a death and rebirth. And then the alchemist is here. This is transformation. This is about being a visionary. Absolutely. I mean, the key word here is divine transformation and visionary. This is the alchemist. You are becoming the alchemist in this death cycle. Ooh, Queen of Swords is at the top of the deck with the Two of Swords, the Chariot, the Knight of Cups, and the Devil. At the bottom, we had the Five of Wands. Yeah, the haters gonna hate. Seven of Swords, Seven of Wands. That you gonna have to keep this under your hat a little bit. They can call it being sneaky all they want, but you can't let them know before it's fully developed that they're gonna come in and try to take it. But the Wheel of Fortune is here, and strength, so I really wouldn't worry about that. And the Ace of Cups, yes indeed, and the Queen of Wands, manifesting your behind off. Don't sweat the small stuff. It's happening, Captain. Now we are gonna pull a couple of these. Life path came out here with the Nine of Pentacles. Whoa. Divine talents came out here with the Age of Aquarius, and to divine to conform is the dying side, and paradigm shift is here with this Temperance and calling in the time for romance. Now we got oh, and I said I was going to clarify. I'll get to them in a second. Hold on. The law of attraction, embody the highest version of yourself. The law of individualization, shine your unique bright light. And then, ooh, enlightenment is here at the split. Ooh, y'all, I gotta take it right here at the split. We have enlightenment, continue to grow, and Yeshua, follow my lead. Those are our cards right there. Pilgrimage is here too. Onward steps and resurrection, embrace new life. Wow. What's at the top? I'm curious. The teacher. Oh my goodness. Walk the talk along with prayer, contemplation, and connection. That's a lot, but you know what? Ooh, did y'all see that as I was trying to put that over here? Love thy neighbor also fell out. So if you may not want to stick around for them, but I need those messages. These were the decks that I was called to pull, so I'm definitely wow. Wow, wow, wow. Conquering is here. Start today. What's at the top of this deck? Clarity, go within. Transformation, light and dark. I think that's relevant. Let me see if anything else wants to come out of here. Because normally I would shuffle them, but when I went to shuffle them, those cards spoke rather loudly. Okay. Way that shot out, I think that's pretty clear as well. So let's get on in here and see what some of these are talking about. And we're going to start with the light workers oracle with life path. Do you wonder about your divine life path and purpose? You have been enrolled in spiritual training. This training might be obvious in the form of a course you're undertaking or hidden in a life lesson that is currently triggering your healing, learning, or growth. Whether it is obvious or not, successfully completing this training will empower you to fulfill your divine purpose this lifetime. Further clarity will be revealed to you. The universe promises that you shall know what you need at the perfect time and in a way that you cannot miss. You are in spiritual training for a divine mission that serves your soul development and spiritual growth whilst simultaneously helping others. It will help you express your spiritual purpose this lifetime. At times, your training may be aligned with study or applying your skills in ways that seem more obviously aligned with the spiritual path. At other times, your spiritual training may be disguised in ordinary life circumstances. If you're unsure of what you're meant to be learning, of exactly how you're in spiritual training at the moment, look to the situations in your life that may be, wait a minute, look to the situations in your life that are causing you the most struggle. This is where you will find your training taking place. The struggle is the place where holding on is competing with letting go. It is, however, nothing to be ashamed of. A growth edge where you are doing the inner work of growing into more peace, trust, and love is a sign that you're certainly growing. It isn't comfortable. Sometimes it might cause fatigue and even a feeling of defeat. Yet you shall not give up. You shall continue, and in time you shall triumph with a feeling of peace, resolution, and wisdom. If you're feeling stuck, perhaps you're working on a significant issue or challenge that won't seem to resolve itself no matter how much effort you apply, then you're being guided to ask for help from your spiritual team using the invocation below. Call upon your own higher self and soul to take over all aspects of the issue. Be patient. Do not resist what is, but neither collapse into it. Use your spiritual practice, for example, meditation, journaling, dance, music, art, yoga, time in nature, and prayer, to strengthen you as you move through this training. If you're uncertain about what is happening in your life now, don't fret. Sometimes a smaller desire has to be sacrificed for the attainment of a greater vision. Be at peace. Know that all beings shine at the right time, and so shall you. This oracle is also a confirmation that a vision of your path on earth is being shared with you, whether in small daydreams, big dreams at night, in meditation, or simply in the feedback you receive repeatedly from different sources. You are being asked to trust in what you see, sense, and feel about your vision for your life path and divine purpose. Even if you're not clear, trust that it is coming to you with loving divine timing. Be open minded and listen for what makes your heart sing. Before we get to the invocation, as I was reading that, it really made me stop and think, even in my own personal situation, about that feeling of doubt when you know you've been shown something so big and beautiful for your life, but it isn't coming and it isn't coming and it isn't coming. And especially if it has to do with a really big manifestation, maybe starting some foundation or having some big influx of manifesting a large amount of money and not really knowing whether, where, or how it's going to come in, but you know you need that seed money in order to do the thing that's been shown, but yet it's not coming, and then you war within yourself. Well, am I supposed to just keep doing what I'm doing, like say stay in the corporate world, or look for some kind of a way to make it or earn it? But then truthfully, in the back of your mind, you know you can't in 2 or 3 lifetimes you wouldn't earn the amount of money that it's going to take to do this project. But what do you do in the meantime? And you don't want to miss your blessing, but you got to survive. But why isn't it coming? But I need it. There's all that self-talk and chatter that happens in between there. But spirit is saying, basically, this is happening for you. It's part of your purpose. Stop overthinking or doubting it over much. Bear with me. Okay. Um, and that's part of where the stuck comes from, because it's you're out there in unfamiliar territory. You're seeing a vision for something that's so big, most people will tell you out of your mind if you even try to share it with them. But you know you're not out of your mind, right? So who you gonna really listen to? Like I said, The struggle, you said, is the place where holding on is competing with letting go. If you let go and it still doesn't come, at what point are you going to regret having let go? Because you feel it's a faith issue. It really is a faith issue, like big time. And those who are going through this with me understand exactly what I'm talking about here. But Spirit is saying, lean into your spirit team. It's righter. Things are flowing better than you recognize. Now, the invocation, I call upon the wise and unconditionally loving ones to assist me now in perceiving, living, and manifesting my truest and most joyful life path and divine purpose. Help me know what I need to know when I need to know it. And with everything else, may I be assisted to feel peace, trust, and patience as my beautiful life path unfolds, guided by the loving hand of the universe. May unconditional love reach into the hearts of all living beings, helping every creature to find true fulfillment of their destiny. So be it. Yeah. And then we're moving along to divine talents with this age of Aquarius, and conforming is to the dying sign. You are a talented soul. Over many lifetimes, you have developed your spiritual abilities to channel higher awareness, attract healing energy, and radiate light to uplift the consciousness of those around you. Your divine talents are many and uniquely expressed through you. Your talents do not have to resemble those of another to have their own inestimable value. Do not be afraid to use them. Divine talents are a way in which the universe reminds us of what we're here to do. Divine talents are unlimited. They include the ability to channel spiritual guidance and healing energy, to perceive clairvoyantly, and to be psychic and empathic. Other spiritual talents are the ability to release earthbound spirits, earth healing techniques such as working with energy grids, as well as healing ability with crystals and many and varied technologies of light. There are other spiritual talents too. These include writing, performing, sound healing, dancing to awaken awareness, creating art, photography, or divinely inspired tools and jewelry. Cooking food that heals body and spirit is a spiritual talent, as are the abilities to bring people together, to offer comforting and inspiring words at the right time, to help others overcome fear and feel more at peace in moments of importance, and more. You could use your divine talents in your career as a healer, in your work in the corporate world, or in your stay at home role as a parent, helping to raise more conscious, secure, and empowered children in a world that is in desperate need of strong, spiritually grounded leaders for the future. You can use your talents to create a vocation that truly inspires you and brings your light to the world. You can use them in the line at the grocery store. The point is that you use them. This oracle comes to you with a message. You have spiritual talents, some of which have been developed in other lifetimes and will simply and suddenly spring back to life as if out of the blue this lifetime. Others need a little more attention, patience, and effort to be brought to life in the world. This is particularly the case for you at this time if you have also drawn or attracted to the message now, the oracle of past life activation, which we haven't here, but yeah. So basically breathe into it. Don't sweat it. It's happening, but do understand that you do have ways in which you're called to move to help others, not just yourself. And it doesn't have to, like I said, spirituality and religiosity are very much not the same thing. And your spiritual, your divine talents can express themselves dramatically differently than what you may have traditionally thought that would look like. Paradigm shift is here. You are undergoing radical growth in your belief systems. Now is the time to challenge old attitudes and question previous expectations. You are in an extraordinary time. Great leaps forward can be made in a moment. The world you thought you knew can suddenly break open and a new world can become your reality. Buddhists sometimes speak of the beginner's mind, which assumes nothing and therefore is open to everything. A spiritual psychologist might call this the inner child. as it is innocent, curious, unfixed, and always learning. It doesn't get stuck on an answer having to be one way. There is openness to the unknown with curiosity instead. Old souls can sometimes find it hard to recapture their nothing not knowingness. Asking someone with a lot of life experience who may have become a bit world weary to drop expectations and look at the world through fresh eyes can be challenging. Yet life becomes much more energizing and interesting when you're open and don't hold expectations about what will be. Suddenly, you are receptive to the universe helping you in ways that in the past you did not believe possible, all because you've kept an open mind. And truthfully, that's kind of sort of the way it has to be if you're going to be on this level of manifestation. It's um, law of attraction, law of individualization, empress type energy in this rebirth cycle, because you're creating a whole new self, a whole new experience, whole new outcomes, whole new ways of being, very often a whole new financial platform, everything new, new, new. And in order to do that, you got to be the rest of the world will call you a little bit delusional. It's not being delusional, it's understanding that we live in a quantum universe. And when you align with that quantum field, it can birth out to you pretty much anything. But you got to be able to be, you got to be free enough and out of the old paradigm enough to understand and allow that to happen. Yeah. And this paradigm shift for many of us is where and why this romance is coming. Had to completely switch up everything. But you're being divinely guided to do so. Temperance is here. This soul alignment, and your partner is probably doing the same thing wherever they're at in their corner of the world as well. Now, that is the last of um, those cards. Now we're going to move on to the law of attraction cards. Where was it? Oh, here it is. With law of attraction, let's see. On what page? Hold on, bear with me just a second, y'all. Oh, here it is. Oh, and I had the page bookmarker inadvertently set to it and didn't even realize. Embody the highest version of yourself. This universal mechanism is best described by the axiom you attract and repel the mental equivalent of your consciousness. This law is the culmination of all the universal laws and describes how you manifest and demonstrate through physical embodiment. Your consciousness directs energy upon universal law, which sets polarity into motion by the magnetic frequency of the beliefs within your soul, the actualization of who you are, and the actions you take. The oracle's message: you have asked for a divine sign. Yes, you are on the right path. What you desire desires you. However, to have your dreams come true, you must embody that which it is equal to. The universe has revealed where you must rise to the occasion and become that which you seek. Become aware of any double standards or entitlements you have. The universe works with precision. It attracts and repels the magnetism of your soul with perfection. Pay particular attention to any message that comes in threes. Develop your wisdom, knowledge, and skills. It is time to focus on becoming the highest version of yourself. Interesting it says that because I'm a three person all day. But yeah, like unto itself is drawn. And true, what set me down this particular spiritual rabbit hole was the desire to understand the law of attraction fully. So this is an extremely appropriate card to be coming out now. But do understand that this is part and parcel of taking responsibility for your life, seeing it as a creative adventure, following your vision, and being this multidimensional person, understanding how to use the law of attraction to your best benefit is a key component of allowing all of this to be able to happen. Now we have the law of individualization here as well. 79. Okay. Shine your unique light bright. You are the individualization of the one spirit, a unique divine expression. You are the Alpha and Omega embodied as a fractal of the one mind. Universal laws are designed to be uniquely directed by each person for a specific experiential outcomes. For specific experiential outcomes. Furthermore, you are the only person in the entire universe with your divine gift, you. The Oracle's message: you are the individualization of spirit. By drawing this card, it is a reminder to embrace yourself exactly as you are. Let go of trying to be what the culture has told you to be. Let go of looking for validation and confirmation from people in your life. You are a trendsetter, a visionary, a unique divine individual. The world is ready for you to take the lead. The universe is ready to reflect your shining light. Wow. And this is here with the Empress, and listen to the eternal song of your soul. Express yourself creatively. Start something new. Awesome. Now, we got to get into these Christ consciousness decks. And with that, we have, oh, and I didn't even notice the numbers of these cards. We had 1, 22, and 33 came out of the Christ consciousness deck. Oh, more did too. But over here we had 1955 and 35, but I still found that extremely interesting. Let me see. Now, the thing that I had highlighted in here, I'm not going to read all of these because these messages are rather long, but it was talking about where Yeshua said, "Come, and I will make you fishers of men," was his call, his first call to his disciples. He calls to us again, this time knowing we understand more than we originally did 2,000 years ago, and that to be invited to hold his presence and embody his teachings is a lifeline that changes the game for all who answer it. And that goes straight to the core of everything that I'm doing here on any of these channels. I became telepathically linked with Yeshua back around 2019, 2020. I mean, before then, I started getting telepathic messages, but that was during the time period when I specifically asked if any of the ascended masters who were willing to work with me would come forward, and immediately he and Saint Germain and Thoth came forward. Come, and I will make you fishers of men. Whew, yeah. And then we have 22 pilgrimage here. The illustration on this card is based on the pilgrim steps at St. Michael's Mount in Cornwall, England. It's a medieval path, one climbed by those long ago who sought spiritual nourishment and enlightenment. In days of old, they would have been climbing to visit the church at the top. While there's nothing wrong in doing this, today's pilgrim is often aware that the true connection to Christ is via the heart and no building is required. You're encouraged to look back at how far you've already come and how much hard work, dedication, and commitment brought you to the steps in the first place. You signed up for this life and came here to keep learning, growing, and striving to go higher. There is, however, no rush to get to the summit. Rather, it is all about the journey itself, savoring each moment and taking in the night and day, the cycles of nature, and your growing development. Remembering what you once were and what you know now, acknowledging all achievements and not comparing progress to others, but honoring your unique journey. Pulling this card may also indicate that you're thinking of taking a pilgrimage. This may be formal, a known destination, or to an informal, unmapped one. That reminds me right back to the earlier card we had of the long distance or international travel. Absolutely, that is relevant. Um, wow. And I think that's all we needed from that card. And then 33, the teacher. Much of Yeshua's teaching came via what he did just as much as what he said. He walked the talk, demonstrating in every possible interaction the core thesis of what it looked like to hold Christ consciousness. The large organizations in their buildings, albeit often beautiful, that followed can make us forget, in essence, he taught us how to be and how to truly live a good and honest life. I guess is people don't understand religiosity and spirituality ain't the same thing. We lose the essence of Christ consciousness when we crawl into religions, because most religions are teaching us to seek a God. That one person in the Abrahamic religions is teaching us to seek Yahweh, who is absolutely 180 degrees opposed to everything that Yeshua was actually teaching. But if we stop seeking God and seek Christ, we'll find him in every religion on this planet. Every one. Even if he's laced in the middle of a lie, you'll still find him. Christ consciousness is what he was about, not the big fancy buildings and none of. He didn't have a synagogue or a temple or a masjid or a church or nothing else. His entire ministry was out and about by the river, on the wayside, by the steps. Occasionally, he was invited into people's homes to teach, but he did not have his own personal physical location of preaching. His entire life was a ministry. So wherever he was at, that's where his temple or masjid or tabernacle or whatever, that's where it was. He was a teacher who wanted to be with people, working tirelessly and never faltering from the love that he demonstrated in everything his presence touched. He rightfully sits as one of the world's greatest masters, yet he reminds us that we can emulate and practice much of what he taught, and that it is achievable and not undoable. Teaching comes from many places, via children in different cultures and places, and from hard times such as illness in so many ways. We will constantly learn if we ask of anything, what does this show me? What have I to learn from this situation? We are encouraged to become like children again, full of wonder, wanting to learn and acquire new understanding. The small child who asks why is inquisitive and keen to know. Embrace life's student as well as his teacher. We learn from each other, and via that, our consciousness continues to grow. Wow. And then we have 19 here. Prayer, contemplation, and connection. When you have doubts and worries, pray. When you wish to express gratitude, pray. When you need strength, pray. Prayer is therapeutic for you now and can be done in any moment, in any place, when alone or with company. To sit and commune with a higher power, the universe, or your guides and helpers, it puts things back into perspective and helps balance your mind, body, and soul. Setting time aside to pray connects you with all the help you require, the energy to sustain you, and the solace and comfort you seek. Prayer is not meant to be difficult. The child in this card has mastered it, knowing instinctively how to do it, even if against a city backdrop. There is a nod to the tranquility that can be found in nature also. A park, garden, stream, or tree, anything living that connects us to the power and beauty that is God's creation all around us. We don't need an ornate building to pray in. We just need ourselves and a moment to pause, breathe, and practice the art of communing with what we seek. In silence or via spoken word, prayer is a lifesaver and life sustainer. Enjoy a moment in it today. This, y'all, this goes right back to what I was kind of chastising myself a little bit about over the past week. Like I said, I've been kind of in some spiritual or funk or downtime, as it were. And there was so much noise and chatter in my head that I wasn't grounding, I wasn't meditating, but I'm more of a meditator than a prayer. And I realized I had slacked off in my prayer as well. I wasn't actually talking with my guides. Of course, they're always here around me because I don't necessarily close off that gateway to them. But I was so stuck in my own turmoil, if you will, that I wasn't availing myself to the comfort and communication that's here. And Spirit is saying, please don't get slack on this. Whether you meditate, pray, whatever it is, truthfully, do both. And again, you got to figure out where you're praying and who's bringing it. But whatever that looks like to you, do both. 55 is here with resurrection. Embrace new life. Do you believe in fully living your life, seeing each day as a gift and precious beyond measure? This may seem an odd question for a card about resurrection, since death is the factor preceding it, but it came here right with death. Yet we can unconsciously operate and live as if we're already half dead, either willing the years to go faster as a consequence of grief or unhealed trauma, waiting for something to happen first, that idea of then my life will really begin, or be in automatic pilot, going through the motions with no awareness or presence. And again, been there, done that. Sometimes years can go by when you're stuck in that limbo phase, and spirit is saying, Yeshua said, I am the resurrection and the life. He who believes in me will not die, which is a clear teaching on the continuation of life, in that via embodying the qualities of love, grace, and all that he taught, the turning of the wheels between different planes of existence would be ensured. Knowing this gives us a bedrock of security, which can encourage us to want to do more, not wanting to waste a single moment, knowing that we're always held. Rebirth and resurrection occur every day upon waking. We have a chance to start over, try again, and embrace what we can create, to turn challenges into triumph and sadness into reflection and eventually laughter, and to see how every part fits to bring about the tapestry of our lives. Today, sit and feel into what you are ready to let go of, and what parts of your life are complete, giving thanks to all you learned. Pause, breathe, and take a moment to welcome in new energies that can transform and elevate your world, aspiring to live a full life made up of myriad moments. Know that your rebirth and resurrection are here, and a new chapter waits for you to enter its pages. Have no fear, step into it fully, and as the stone rolls back from the tomb of where you have been, you feel the sunlight on your face. Love is here, new life is here, God is here within you, and you are free. Wow. And then we have 35. Enlightenment, continue to grow. In my Father's house there are many rooms is a teaching from Yeshua, and one we should remember when we consider the nature of enlightenment. In God's house, i.e., the kingdom of heaven, which also exists on earth, all are welcome, diversity is encouraged, and different faiths and beliefs are equally respected, reflecting all that the ascended masters work of reflecting that all the ascended masters work together, and that man-made divisions are redundant. Here there should be no condemnation or suspicion of how others experience spirit or and God, or any desire to be right in the only one holding the truth. Instead, we are invited to sit energetically in our circle with our fellow brothers and sisters, to witness each other's journeys underneath the same roof, in which is our world that we are here to experience. We can learn from each other and grow as we seek to deeply understand, listen, and engage. And y'all, this is, well, here, let me finish this. Today, think what says, acknowledge the sacred inner journey that you're on, one that can be helped via self-care practices, reflection, mindfulness, meditation, fresh fruit and vegetables, and perhaps yoga or another form of holistic exercise. By going within, we understand more of what manifests outward as a result, seeing the mirror effect of what we are and can then attract into our lives. We become more conscious, in tune with our surroundings and environment, and realize the influence we can assert positively to raise the vibration of Earth as well as ourselves. Today, think about whether you're spiritually growing or in a safe zone, or are stuck, unable to expand into new ideas and ways to interact with the world. Is there something you wish to learn, an imbalance that needs correcting, for example, in receiving and giving, or a new practice you'd like to try? Be willing to sit and absorb the frequency of Mother Earth as she ascends in consciousness too, receiving her light codes, moon phases, cyclical dates, and changing rhythms. Being at one with your body's energy system and listening to its needs helps you respect the temple that holds your soul in this lifetime and serves you well. This is so appropriate for me right now, especially like I said, today is September 1st. And of course, it's a timeless message. Whenever you happen to hear it, it's perfectly fine. As long as this reading is, you might have to break it up and come back to it. But I'm in a rebirth cycle. I'm starting this fast again. Y'all that have been with me for a minute know this is something I've struggled with. I woke up this morning hungry, and I don't feel that much hunger that often. And I know some of it's emotional hunger, but was feeling actual physical hunger. But I know and understand that this is the walk. This is part of my enlightenment path, the rebirth path, the resurrection path. So it needs to be done. That's all. And that's part of the self-care in this instance for me, to get unstuck, like genuinely, because Yeshua said this kind can only be removed by through prayer and fasting. And for those of us that are super finding ourselves in that kind of stuck place or stuck energy, sometimes that's what it takes. All right, now for Metatron we have conquering fear, gold, and transformation. We're going to start with 16 and 17. Those are two significant numbers for me too. We're going to start with transformation 31, light and dark. This is a challenging question. It says, which figure on this card do you relate to? The dark shadow of your own fear or the empowered light-filled divine in you? This is a challenging question since, in truth, both are aspects of yourself. Within you are both light and shade, illumination and shadow, love and hate, and peace and anxiety. Living in a dualistic world, you have a dualistic nature, and it serves you well to try to integrate and understand all parts of yourself. Pushing away one shadow doesn't work, whether it appears as jealousy, rage, greed, or spite. Instead, you're asked to understand and work through why such feelings arise and where they come from, and realize it is usually because of an absence of love. Our shadow often wants to keep us small, to keep us doing what we know rather than trying something new. It feeds off old patterns that haven't been worked through, from panic and low self esteem to something greater still. If you have done the shadow work, the card then asks you to question which figure you give the most attention to. Transformation happens when we choose the light over our shadow selves and turn like a flower to the sun, the greatest energy source of our planet and life force. The image is a reminder to choose light every day, to move forward and reach for sunlight rather than hide ourselves in darkness. Darkness and shadow can play into ego's hands, playing small, judgment, blame, drama, victim mentality. It takes many forms. However, we're here to shine brightly. We cannot do so from a place of total darkness. The sunlight in the picture brings not just illumination to the one who is free, but illuminates and brings warmth to the heavier side of ourselves that we all carry. The stronger and more powerful energy is the light. It can and will escape the clutches of anything that tries to contain it. What is left behind is but an empty shell, and we learn to look back with compassion at what blocked our way and the lessons we learned from our struggle. By doing this, we transform not just ourselves, but the darkness too. We learn to live with, but not allow it to control us, to love all parts of ourselves, and to walk the highest path we can, moment to moment, day by day. By doing so, we conquer the battle within and allow our light to win. And truthfully, I mean, I get it. Some people say you got to embrace your shadow, and you do. In order to do the shadow work, you do have to acknowledge that. Doing inner child work, you have to acknowledge that stuff. But the idea is you don't make a summer home in this place. You acknowledge the shadow and then move it towards something lighter. That's why I say lately I've been through so many layers of dark night of the soul, but they aren't even all that dark. Yeah, they remind you that they're there. And when I get caught in a deeper funk like this, I know that it's spiritual work that I need to do, but you can't allow yourself to wallow in it but just so long. Like I said, I've been down for the count for 4 days, and I woke up this morning and said, all right, enough of that, heifer. You got to get up and do what you got to do, because the longer you time yourself out, the harder it's going to be to jump back in. That's what happened with my channel a couple years ago, why it took so long for me to get up and going with modern mystic messages, because I was, and I'm not saying it's not necessary shadow work and all that, but if you stay in it too long, it becomes more harmful than helpful. You got to step back into the light. Like I said, move towards the light, step into the light, Carol Ann. Even if you have to turn around and do a part 2 later, and do a part 3, then do a part 4. Shadow work, inner child work, that's not going to end. So you don't have to stay in it so long that it completely consumes you. Move back into the light, understanding that's your natural place. That's where we're reaching for, and then go back into it as we need to. We have cup of replenishment here with gold. Bear with me a second. Okay, here we go. Are you in touch with your golden state that lies within? This is the place of divine truth and light where your soul resides. Are you prepared for initiation into Archangel Metatron's sacred circle of light? Allow any, as you prepare for initiation into Archangel Metatron's sacred circle of light, allow any heaviness to dissolve that prevents this. To be in Metatron's presence is to remember your wisdom, your power, and your holiness. No more playing small. You are here to shine and to excel at anything you choose to do. Through adversity, you also can grow and evolve to reach a more enlightened and fruitful place of being, to shine for others and for yourself. That is why you're here. The golden chalice is offered for you to drink from. Its golden nectar renews and revitalizes your whole energetic and auric system, which seeks upgrade to a higher vibration and more light. Let me see. An additional meaning of this card is to link to the Ace of Cups in the traditional tarot. Here we see a single cup, which also symbolizes true love, particularly if we partnered in a spread with the card 6, which is love. The golden infinity symbol also links to soulmate unions and twin flame partnerships. Both are being highlighted at this time and blessed with Metatron's golden ray. The cup here offers communion with another, a meeting of minds, bodies, and souls blessed by spirit. Golden replenishment comes now, just when you need it. Wow. And we did enter with this paradigm shift and a move towards romance with temperance. Interesting. And then we have 17, which is conquering fear. Start today. Fear makes you feel small, fragile, threatened, and unable to take the next steps. You may feel, you may also feel isolated, and yet you're not alone. Many angels surround you, wishing to help. So often, though, you forget to call on them, and when you do ask, you doubt that they've heard, and so you ask again and again, weakening your own faith that they're actually there. Yet, angels have been around you since you were first born. They heralded your arrival, have celebrated your successes, and tried to pick you up when you have failed or been hurt or needed their care and love. They remind you that you have already accomplished and conquered many things and have always survived and grown stronger. This new fear around you has arisen out of your own shadow. It is the side of you that mistakenly thinks it keeps you safe by staying exactly where you are, never trying anything new, and always maintaining the status quo. It is, however, an illusion. These feelings and negative voices in your head that say, I can't or I won't, are just an energetic block that can be broken through by proclaiming, I can and will. That which seems so difficult now to be taken needs to be taken one step at a time, broken down into achievable chunks, and made comfortable to you so that you can cross each stepping stone with growing confidence and trust. And let's see. Ask, what is it that you're truly frightened of? And some of you will hear my own shadow as the response. Make peace with the parts of you that have been programmed to feel fear. Some fear is instinctive, and some is learned from social and family patterns. Some may also have come from past life experience, but no fear is incapable of being healed with angelic support and light. Now is the moment for you to face your own fear, to see it as it is actually small. See it is actually smaller than you thought it was. Take action, create positive energy around it, and take that first step away from it. Doing so will give you a sense of achievement and pride. Congratulations and a pat on the back await you. Do it today. You'll feel better for doing so. Wow. Beautiful, beautiful. Now, the last of the book meanings that we're going to get to are these from Journey of Love, especially since we do have some divine counterpart energy calling coming in here. And this is going to apply to you first, of course, and foremost, and perhaps the person that you're calling in as well. Because after all, you're most likely shadowing each other. The first card that I saw when I pulled this deck was Yin Yang Lover. The force of attraction is stronger than your conscious control. There is no need to fight this inner genius. You can learn to speak its language instead. What is it that captures you, that pulls you close, that holds so much light for you? Why fight it? Don't step away from that what you really love. Don't step away from what you really love to grab hold of a second prize. Why not claim your first prize? It is there waiting for you. It is yours alone, beloved. No one else can claim your own divine birthright for you. Be yielding and yet be yielding and let your desire fill your body, your heart, and your mind. You don't have to fight for what is already yours. It will come to you through the field of attraction that emanates from your own heart. It is not a question of worthiness or deservedness. It is not a question of trying to work out what you need or want. Your heart always knows. Listen, if you can't hear, just feel. You'll get the gist of it soon enough. This oracle has a message for you. No matter whether you seem to be heading closer to your goal or further away, you are making real spiritual progress, and what you want is the same thing that is wanting you. What you're seeking is seeking you. It is only a matter of time before you get it. And the poetry with this card: the moment when to fill my heart again is measured not in time or sweet remorse, nor tears that wash away unbridled pain, or morning's light which sings its soft retort. Such love has slept through storm and winters long. No call could break the stillness embrace or hasten change before the season's song unfurls its melody and words so chaste. Empowered thus, I found myself compelled to cast aside emotions dormant still. My feelings spoke from depths, the answer welled, no need or past, the emptiness to fill. At one, our touch has opened hearts anew, of patience born, there waits a love so true. Ooh. So it's coming. Like I said, being prepared for you. Ain't no point short. Don't second guess. Don't settle. Don't tell yourself you got to deal with what you got or whatever. Stop all of that. Spirit is saying you're finding your own balance, and so is that love that's coming towards you. Absolutely. We have Cosmic Butterfly here, which is 36. You are being reborn from the pulsating womb of the Divine Mother, on fire with her creative power. You are being transformed whilst living. To surrender certainty in favor of openness, to accept the smallness of your everyday life whilst admitting to the magnificence of your being, to open up to the divine light that pours through you into a myriad of forms, endlessly creating, destroying, creating again. This is your sacred task. Life is thriving within you. This may not feel stable as yet, but will certainly feel exciting as you enter into yet another cycle of rebirth. It is life. Let this life seem as though you are living many lifetimes in one. It is possible for you to encounter the totality of human experience in this lifetime, should you be open to it. This is treading the enlightened path, embracing all of life. You have chosen this for yourself and been blessed with it as a possibility this lifetime. Why not let yourself be broken down and reborn through the workings of nature? Another life within this one beckons you on now. The message for you from this oracle is that if your life feels like it's falling apart, then take heart, for it is falling apart to come back together in a new way. You are going through rebirth just like a butterfly in a chrysalis. The agony and the delight, the sense of dying and being truly alive, all can all be held in the serene space of your heart. Surrender into what you're becoming now and know that what you're leaving behind is but a shell that once will have held your fast emerging new self. The poetry that goes with this card: the breeze of the butterfly's wings caresses the stillness of my thoughts and awakens feelings that course through my veins. Like the whale's song to the ocean depths, there wells in me a knowing and a wonder for what is yet to be. Ooh, love it. And finally, we have Legacy of Light. You are called to bear light, to carry forward the legacy of a spiritual lineage of wisdom and deep service to the earth. You are part of that spiritual lineage, a belonging that extends through generations past and generations yet to come. Honor the importance of your task and realize that you are a light bearer, that you carry a legacy of consciousness and embodiment of light upon this earth to share for the betterment of future generations. May the ancestors of your lineage bless you with unconditional love and devotion as you carry the light forward now. Blessed be. This oracle says to you that you have connected more powerfully with a source of spiritual guidance and instruction that is helping you full activate your divine life mission and purpose. It is confirmation that however you're choosing to live your life is in service to the light, whether it be obviously so to others or not, and that your personal growth and spiritual path are helping the greater human soul evolve. You are acknowledged as a jewel of light upon this earth, an important link in a heavenly chain of divine awakening. This oracle also brings confirmation, if needed, that relationship issues that are arising for you now are not only about your own personal healing, but about healing the emotional legacy of your ancestral lines. To do this, you may wish to journal, dance, or meditate, or dedicate a yoga practice to the healing of your ancestral inheritance, and ask that your own relationships be assisted through the karmic grace of your ancestors to step into more consciousness of love now. The poetry that comes with this card: I measure time in years, in memories, and good friends. Thanks for helping me to see I can count the special ones on my hand, that I can count on you. Ooh, spirit gang. Absolutely. That's absolutely amazing. Now, from the ancestor messages, I pulled here Angel of Peace, Inner Tranquility and Balance. Legacy of the Prophet, Wisdom Left for the Future. Tribal Elder is here, honoring the ancestral traditions and power. Song of the Ocean, Flow with Life's Currents. Keeper of Stories, connect the past and future through stories. This is what a lot of us are being called to do. Like I said, this Legacy of the Prophet with this Tribal Elder, we are absolutely having ancient wisdom being unlocked to us, and not just for our own edification, as they say, but to share that knowledge with others. And we also have here Sword of Justice, which is a fight for the truth, and Shield of Spirit, protecting your soul's strength. And look, these two are necessary, especially with the Sword of Justice. I see this as Ace of Swords type energy. We're communicating truth to others in a world that doesn't necessarily honor truth right now, but they will, because it's coming. We have to. We also have star energy here. Hard times are over. Look for an abundance of happiness, enthusiasm, and positivity. Wish is here. Your heart's desire is ready to come true. Chariot is here. Charge ahead with confidence. Stay strong and focused. Goals are here. Progress is positive and personal goals will be achieved. along with birth. Now, in the traditional tarot, 13 is death and rebirth, so I think that that's kind of cool. And 4 is the emperor. Well, empress is birthing energy, but I mean, still, birth is here. Universal energy brings you opportunity and possibility. So with this goals and birth and the chariot energy, wish and star, it is happening. Now we have here believe in your power to manifest, breathe your creation into existence. You are here for a purpose, learning, realizing what matters to you, following the path of another. Your path is being redirected to where it should be. And this isn't another human individual. This is letting spirit redirect your path, which is happening. And the way is clear. Awaken the power within you. Allow this rebirth to happen. It's loading. And it's like I say, the train has pulled out of the station. This is absolutely beautiful. Regardless of whether you felt stuck or not, you're getting unstuck. It happens. It happens to all of us. It probably won't be the last time it happens. But when you see it and feeling it happen, don't wallow in that. Find our way out. Like I said, look to the light, Carol Ann. The light at the end of the tunnel is not a train. It absolutely is not. It is the rebirth, the new life that's been loading for you for quite some time now. Let it in. This is your spirit, your reading and mine, y'all. Honestly, we are being called to be of divine service. Definitely want to remember that. I do thank you for writing it out with me. If you've made it to the end of this reading, how about do me a favor and leave some purple hearts in the comments for you? And if it resonates for you as well, please let me know. Like I said, I know it's going to resonate for a few of you who are able to watch the entire reading. But yeah, if it does resonate, please don't hesitate to give the video a thumbs up and share it with those who may also benefit from this message. In the meantime, in the between time, folks, I will be recording part 1 to this as an intro. It'll be much shorter than this, but just kind of giving the backstory as to why and how this reading came about and what's been going on with me for the past few days. And I will see you all in the next uploaded reading as well as tomorrow in the live stream. So thank you again for joining me here. I love you ever so much, soul family. Peace and blessings to you. Namaste.